that, and I love what you do as well. Before I talk about the debate and your reaction, I have to talk to you about this Haitian immigrant debunked stealing your pets and eating them story, which has been debunked by everybody, including the Ohio Republican governor. I just played that audio. It's been debunked by the police chief, by the city manager. What do you make of this, and why do they do this? Why do the far right do this?
And I spent my whole podcast today, Social Contract with Joe Walsh, talking about this very topic. Bri, here's the deal. The right now is in the business, and they've been in the business for a long time, of scaring the crap out of their white audience, period. And you know me, man, I'm an open book. When I was in right-wing media, I used to do some of that. I'm not proud of it. But they're trying to scare folks. That's what this is all about. Like, oh my God, there are brown and black people in your neighborhood, on your street. There's crime everywhere. And now they're killing and eating your pets. It's all about fear. There are real problems, Brian, as you know, with this migrant crisis in towns and cities around the country. But instead of dealing with the problem, all the right wants to do is scare the you-know-what out of their folks.
Don't you think it's interesting, Joe, that they're not talking about Swedes or Scandinavians? Why is it always brown people?
Well, again, and I come from the base. The GOP base is primarily middle-aged and older white folk who are scared to death at how this country is changing racially and every other which way, Bri. And so right-wing media voices and politicians play off of these fears. I will say, Brian, until I'm long gone and dead, these are primarily good people, and politicians, right-wing politicians and media voices have been demagoguing them and scaring them now for years.
Speaking of which, Joe Walsh, let's talk a little bit about excuses that people around the Trump orbit are making in regards to this debate. We've heard 3 against 1. You know, it was unfair. It was rigged. We're hearing that, somebody was talking to her through her earrings. We're hearing that she got the questions before the debate. I mean, every conspiracy theory that is unproven in the books, Joe. What do you make of the excuses that these people on the far right are making?
It makes me so sad, Brian, because this is my former political party, and my former political party has become a party of sore losers. Donald Trump lost an election in 2020, and what did Trump and all of his people scream? Stolen election, instead of accepting a loss. Donald Trump lost a debate a few nights ago. Same thing. Stolen, rigged, unfair, 3 against 1. They're acting, they are, Brian, the antithesis of the way we taught our kids to behave when they lost, a sporting match. My party is now a party of sore losers, bad losers. And again, Brian, Donald Trump's the worst. He's the king of this.
Yeah, I agree with you. So if you're just joining us, former presidential candidate Joe Walsh, former Trump supporter. I have to throw that in there. Years ago, he's on the right side of history now. So, Joe, let me ask you this. Do you think Donald Trump wants even a piece of her again? I mean, I don't think he wants to get up there on a debate stage with her again, because I don't think he can compete with her. What do you think they're going to do moving forward?
I don't think he wants to. I think he's being advised to, because that was such a disaster. But it's not his thing. And I think what they're going to do, Brian, is they're going to wait and see if there's any movement in the polls. And I want to just warn your audience, everybody listening to us right now, this race is neck and neck. And even though she won that debate, Trump's lost most of the debates he's been in. It may not make a difference in the polls.
That's the question that I was going to ask you next. Do you think it's going to make a difference at all? And I tend to agree with you a little bit. But listen, you were out there, correct me if I'm wrong, with a Republican.
Oh, Brian, I was in your neck of the woods.
You were.
I was in the Southwest.
What was that like? So you're in a home. I would imagine you were invited Republicans for Harris event that they invited you to. And what better person, by the way, to represent that organization than you, might I add. But what was that like? You're speaking with Republicans like yourself that are just so sick and tired of Donald Trump that they are going to be voting for Kamala Harris. What was that experience like for you personally?
Well, Brian, it's a big deal. So I've been going into battleground states. I was in Pennsylvania last week, New Hampshire the week before, and then Arizona this week, trying to rally and encourage local Republicans in these states to come out for Harris. Brian, it's not an easy thing. It takes some courage. if you're a Joe Walsh or my buddy Adam Kinzinger and you come out and say you're for Harris, you pretty much end your career as a Republican. For a lot of these local Republicans, Brian, it's even tougher because you lose friendships and you're still right there in the community and you're like shunned. But I'll tell you this, Brian, I'm amazed by the number of Republicans in Arizona this week who came up to me and said, I'm going to support her, but I just can't say it publicly. So I think there's a lot out there that's not being